more money that we do not have. The Senate expected to vote down a House resolution rejecting a request to raise the debt ceiling on behalf of the White House. The Senate will raise that ceiling, paving the way for the feds to borrow even more money. South Dakota Senator John Thune, chairman of the Senate Republican Conference, is also in the Budget Committee. Senator, how you doing there on the Hill? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
You know, this debt ceiling is the last vote before on this matter before Americans vote next November, because it'll be pushed to December, possibly beyond that. It's given Americans a lot of angst about the future, about where they are as a country, where they are as a people. How do you give them reassurance, Senator?
Well, it should give them a lot of angst, Bill. Every American share of the debt is now $48,000. That's gone up $14,000 since this president took office. Every American household now owes $126,000 as a result of the debt. We've seen the three largest deficits literally in history since the president took office in 2009. This vote today in the Senate will follow a vote that occurred, as you mentioned, in the House of Representatives to disapprove a $1.2 trillion increase in the debt limit. We have got to get runaway spending and debt under control. We've got a reckless amount of borrowing, which is going to put us very soon in the same situation that we're seeing Spain, Italy, Greece, other countries in Europe dealing with.
And it makes your head spin, Senator. What can you do about it? What will you do about it?
Well, we've got to start taking the steps that are necessary to get spending under control, and that means taking on these big challenges. Saving Medicare and Social Security, for example, means reforming those programs to make them sustainable over time. The president has demonstrated no interest and no leadership in taking on these big challenges. And frankly, the thing that I think concerns most Americans right now is jobs and the economy, and there is a direct correlation between the amount of borrowing and the amount of debt that we have. History has proven this. And economic growth and jobs. We've got to get spending under control to get the economy growing again.
And I know one of the big points that Republicans are making this week is that it's been 1,000 days since the Senate for the budget, or even passed a budget. I know you're big on that too, but who do you think this reflects worse on? Is it Congress or the administration, or both?
Well, I think that the American people hold everybody here in Washington responsible for that, but it's Congress's job to pass a budget. The Democrat-led Senate has not passed a budget now for nearly 3 years. It's been over 1,000 days. The American people don't have the luxury of not having a budget. We spend $3.6 trillion of the taxpayers' money every single year, and yet we have not had a budget that tells us how we're going to spend that money for 3 years. That's got to stop, but it does require leadership in the White House. The president's budget, for example, last year when it was put on the floor of the Senate was defeated by a vote of 97-0, which demonstrates they don't get it. They're not serious about solving this problem. Clearly, the Senate Democrats, not having moved a budget in over 1,000 days, really aren't serious about taking this on, but we're going to keep pushing as hard as we can to get the focus on spending and debt, jobs in the economy, and reforming programs so that we can make them sustainable for America's future.
A lot of people are relying on Washington to figure this out, and I think in the end they're losing a bit of faith that you guys can figure it out. Senator, thank you for your time, though. John Thune there on the Hill.